Hi everyone, and welcome back to this game guide video for Mortal Online 2. This is Fun Gaming Connoisseur, and we are playing on version 1.0.1.11. Alright, so today as you can see, I'm in Tindrum Sewers. So I will be in Tindrum for some time as I grind up my clade levels. And so today I just want to do a quick game guide video to as a cautionary advice for players who are coming into like a dungeon. And so as I go along, I'm just going to point out some telltale signs that you should look out for, to sort of give you an idea of if there are player killers in the game, in this dungeon, in the dungeon that you're in. Okay, so as you go along, if you hear any combat sounds, naturally that will tell you that there are other players in the same dungeon. And so you should also look out for things like so if you can see that there are loot bags, like a mob loot bag, then it means that someone has been here, obviously. And so now it's always a good idea to look through the loot bag, because sometimes players just kill the mob and then they don't pick up the loot. And now, just because someone else is in the same dungeon, it doesn't mean that person is going to be a player killer. It just means that they've been here and they're probably doing the same thing as what? What's a Tindremic elite guard doing here? I don't know. I've never seen a Tindremic guard this deep in the dungeon. So this is the first time I've seen them come this far down into the dungeon. Alright, so another thing that you should look out for is if there are other players' loot bag. So the first one is if there are grey player loot bags, it means that there's been PvP in the dungeon recently. And so now if there's a grey loot bag from another player, it could mean that person was, trying to kill other, innocent players, but instead they got killed, and so that should be a telltale sign that it might not be safe for you to be in here in the in the dungeon. Who is this? Someone. Oh, it's a scoundrel. And so you should be just very cautious. It could mean that there are a bigger party of anti-PKers who have taken out the aggressor, the PKer. So it may or may not be safe for you to continue to be in the dungeon. But now, if you see a blue loot bag in the dungeon, then that's where you've got to be very careful, because it means that a blue innocent player has died, and so it could mean that there has been a player killing going on, and it could mean that there's a big group of player killers in the dungeon. So that's a very big sign that you need to either get out of the dungeon quickly or be very, very careful. And the next group that you run into, you should try and just run away from them, because it's very likely, and especially if they have like a murderer icon next to their name, and their names are grey, then that means there's a high chance that they will kill you the moment they see you. They will run you down and kill you. So now, it may not necessarily mean that there's a PK in the dungeon. It could just mean that the blue player bit off more than they can chew, and they got killed by the mob. So that's another possibility. But it's only more true if the blue player ventures too far down into the dungeon, towards where the bosses are, and towards where the tougher mobs are. But it's also likely that it's a brand new player who doesn't know what he's doing, and they just decided to go into the dungeon and they got killed by the first mob they see. So that's another possibility. But if you see any of these telltale signs, then it's a warning for you to be careful, and that you should be very cautious about proceeding further into the dungeon, because it could mean that that you could run into a PK gang, like a group of player killers. And I have been ambushed several times in even in Tindrum sewers. So so just be aware of that. And actually, you can hear. Oh, there's a player. Okay. All right. All right. So, so always keep your eyes and your ears on the alert. Listen out for any footsteps and keep an eye out for players. Okay, so that's just what I want to cover, and hope that this video helps you. And as always, if you could please like, comment, subscribe, and share this video. This is Fine Gaming Connoisseur. Take care and have a good day.